The 80-20 wake-up call, how James turned his life around with less effort and bigger wins. James Bennett was your typical 32-year-old stuck in the rat race. He worked 60-hour weeks as a marketing manager at a mid-sized firm in Chicago. He answered emails before breakfast, ran meetings back-to-back, and stayed up late reviewing reports. On paper, he looked successful. A stable job, decent salary, a tidy apartment. But inside, James was running on fumes. Burnt out, unfulfilled, always busy, but never truly progressing. Every Sunday night felt like a countdown to another chaotic week. He barely saw his friends anymore. His gym membership? Useless. His dreams of starting a side business? Buried under a mountain of tasks that never seemed to end. One rainy Monday morning, after arriving late to work and spilling coffee on his only clean shirt, James hit a wall. During a routine strategy meeting, his boss, Clara, asked a simple question. "What's the one thing we're doing that's giving us the best results?" James froze. He didn't know. Everything felt equally urgent and important. That evening, feeling deflated, he Googled, "How to be more productive without working harder." One term kept popping up, the 80-20 rule, also known as the Pareto principle. The idea was deceptively simple. 80% of results come from 20% of efforts. At first, James brushed it off. It's just another motivational buzzword, he thought. But the idea kept nudging at him. What if most of what he was doing didn't actually matter that much? He decided to find out. James started tracking his time for a week, logging every task, email, call, and meeting. When he reviewed his notes, the truth slapped him in the face. Most of his time, nearly 70%, was going into low-value activities, replying to emails, sitting through unfocused meetings, fixing other people's mistakes. The high-impact work, the deep strategy, client analysis, and creative campaigns made up a tiny portion of his week, but it was directly tied to his biggest wins. He couldn't unsee it, so he made a decision. No more wasting time on the 80% that was just noise. He started small. He declined pointless meetings, created email templates to speed up replies, automated reports that took hours each week, and most importantly, he carved out blocks of uninterrupted time to focus on what he did best: strategy and creative thinking. Suddenly, things started to shift. His ideas got sharper. His work became more impactful. Clients were noticing. His boss was noticing. And for the first time in years, James wasn't drowning. He was driving. With his newfound clarity, he realized something even more powerful. This principle didn't just apply to work. In his personal life, he saw the same pattern. The 2 hours he spent reading and journaling each week brought him more peace than the 10 he spent scrolling through social media. The one friend he regularly spoke to gave him more joy than the dozens of superficial conversations he had out of obligation. He started saying no, and meant it. And then, with the time and mental space he reclaimed, James took a leap. He'd always wanted to start something of his own, a side business that combined his love for personal growth and digital marketing. So every Sunday morning, he poured his energy into a simple newsletter where he shared insights about productivity, mindset, and focus. The response was unexpected. In 6 months, he had over 5,000 subscribers. His readers loved the raw honesty of his stories, especially the one about how the 80-20 rule changed his life. James wasn't just working less. He was finally living with purpose. He reconnected with old friends, started running again, took an improv class just for fun. He felt lighter, clearer, and more alive. The 80-20 rule wasn't just a productivity hack. It became his compass, a way of seeing the world, of filtering decisions, of protecting his time and energy for what truly mattered. And the results? They spoke for themselves. At work, he was more respected and relied upon than ever before. His newsletter became a profitable side business, and most importantly, he was happy. Because the truth is, success doesn't come from doing everything. It comes from doing the right things, with focus, intention, and clarity. James had finally realized that being busy wasn't a badge of honor. It was often a sign of misalignment. What mattered wasn't how much he did, but what he chose to do. He used to chase productivity with brute force. Now, he let clarity lead the way. And with every decision, he asked one simple question: is this part of my 20%? So here's the takeaway. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. But if you pause long enough to look at what's really driving your progress and what's just filling your calendar, you'll see it. That small sliver of effort, the top 20%, that's creating most of your results. Focus on that, protect it, nurture it, because sometimes the key to achieving more is doing less.